Snow fell softly over Seoul, covering the streets like white blankets. Inside a small apartment, Beverly worked hard to make the place feel warm and full of love. She had cooked all day, cleaned every room, and decorated the house with small lights she bought from a cheap store. She didn't have much money, but she still tried her best. She wanted this Christmas to be special. She wanted her boyfriend, Daniel, to feel happy. Because she loved him. She had loved him from the first day they met. She had believed he loved her too. All evening she waited for him to come home. She reheated the food 3 times. She kept checking the door. She even fixed her straight black hair many times because she wanted to look beautiful. When Daniel finally walked in, he didn't smile. He didn't say, "Merry Christmas." He only dropped his bag and looked around with tired eyes. "You're home," Beverly said softly, smiling nervously. "I made your favorite food." Daniel didn't answer. He only sat on the couch and unlocked his phone. Beverly swallowed her hurt. She walked over gently, holding a small, carefully wrapped gift. She had saved money for months to buy him something nice. I got you this," she said in a shaky voice. Daniel stared at the little box like it was trash. "What is this?" he asked. "A watch," she whispered. "I hope you like it." He opened it, looked at the simple watch, and sneered. "Is this all you could afford?" "Seriously, Beverly? You're embarrassing." The words stabbed her heart like a knife. Her hands shook. I tried," she whispered. Daniel stood up, angry for no reason. "Tried? This is pathetic." She stepped back, shocked at his harsh tone. "Daniel, please, it's Christmas." "I don't care," he shouted. The lights trembled. Beverly froze, tears filling her eyes. Daniel grabbed her coat, threw it at her, and pointed at the door. "Get out of my house. I'm done with you." Beverly felt her heart break into pieces. "Daniel, please, it's snowing outside." "I said get out." He shoved her toward the door, opened it, and pushed her out into the cold night. Then he slammed the door in her face. The snow fell harder. And Beverly stood alone, in the freezing darkness. The cold hit Beverly like a slap. Snowflakes landed on her eyelashes, melting into tears. Her breath shook as she hugged herself tightly, trying to protect her body from the wind. She looked at the closed door again, hoping Daniel would open it and say he didn't mean it. But the lights inside turned off. He wasn't coming. Her feet felt heavy as she started walking down the street. Each step made her shoes sink into the deep snow. Her hands trembled. Her legs felt weak. She had nowhere to go. No friends. No family in Korea. No money. And no home. People hurried past her, laughing and smiling, enjoying Christmas night with their families. Warm lights glowed from every building. Music played from a shop nearby. But Beverly felt like the world had turned dark and empty. Her mind kept replaying his words. "You're embarrassing. Get out. I'm done with you." She didn't understand how love could turn into cruelty so fast. She didn't know how a man she gave everything to could throw her away like trash. Her chest hurt. Her eyes burned. She felt like she was disappearing. As she walked, the snow got deeper. The wind cut through her. Her body began to shake harder. She tried to find a bus station, but everything was closed. She whispered a small prayer, her lips numb. "God, please, help me." Her feet slipped. She stumbled and landed on her knees. Her tears mixed with the snow. She looked around weakly. A large building stood ahead, glowing gold and shining with luxury. It looked like a club, fancy, rich, with expensive cars parked outside. Music thumped from inside, and men in black suits guarded the doors. Beverly took a shaky step toward the stairs. Then another. Her vision blurred. Her body swayed. And before she reached the top, everything went dark. She collapsed on the cold steps, unconscious. The heavy doors of the luxury club opened suddenly. Music and laughter spilled out. 2 guards stepped outside, talking loudly. "Hey, what's that?" one asked, pointing to the collapsed figure on the stairs. They walked closer, shocked to see a woman lying in the snow. Beverly's skin was pale, her lips trembling, and her clothes soaked from the cold. Her hair spread across the step, black and shiny against the white snow. "Who is she?" "Is she drunk?" the other guard muttered. "No idea. But she can't stay here. Move her." The first guard reached down to pull her up roughly. But a strong voice cut through the air. "Stop." The guards froze. Slow footsteps approached. The air changed. Even the wind seemed to pause. Jae-min stepped out of the club, wearing a black coat and silver rings. His face was calm but cold. His sharp eyes scanned everything quickly. People feared him. He was known everywhere as a powerful mafia boss, a man never to be crossed. But when his eyes fell on Beverly, he stopped breathing for a moment. She was shivering, weak, and covered in snow. Something inside him softened. "What happened?" he asked quietly. "She collapsed, boss," one guard answered. "We were about to move her." "Move her where?" Jae-min asked with danger in his voice. The guard swallowed. "Away from the stairs." Jae-min's eyes turned colder. "No one touches her." The guards bowed quickly, stepping back. Jae-min kneeled beside Beverly. Snowflakes landed on his shoulders as he gently brushed her hair away from her face. Her skin was ice cold. "Who did this to you?" he whispered, even though she couldn't hear. He took off his expensive black coat and wrapped it around her trembling body. Everyone gasped. Jae-min never gave anything to anyone. He was not known for kindness. But now he lifted Beverly into his arms with surprising gentleness. "She stays with me," he commanded. His men bowed deeply, shocked and confused. Jae-min carried her inside the warm club. Lights glowed warmly on his face as he held her close, protecting her from everything. For the first time in a long time, Jae-min felt something in his chest. Something soft. Something he hadn't felt in years. He didn't know her name. He didn't know her story. But something told him. She was going to change everything. Inside the club, the warmth hit Beverly's frozen skin, but she didn't wake up. Jae-min carried her through a back hallway where the noise faded and the lights grew softer. His most trusted men followed behind, confused by their boss's sudden behavior. "Boss," one of them said carefully, "shouldn't we call an ambulance?" Jae-min didn't stop walking. "No, she stays with me." The man fell silent. Jae-min entered a private room, one only he used. It smelled of clean wood and warm tea. Soft lights glowed from the walls, and the floor was heated. He gently laid Beverly on a long leather couch and covered her with blankets. She was still trembling. Jae-min frowned, angry not at her, but at whoever hurt her. He poured warm water, took a soft cloth, and gently wiped the snow from her face and hair. As he worked, he noticed her hands were red and bruised from the cold. "What happened to you?" he whispered. One of his men stepped inside. "Boss, do you want us to find out who she is?" Jae-min looked up slowly, eyes sharp. "No, not yet. She needs warmth first. Food. Rest." The man nodded and left immediately. Jae-min sat beside her and waited. Minutes passed. Her breathing slowly became steady. Her trembling stopped. He watched her in silence, his mind busy. He didn't save people. He didn't care about strangers. But the sight of her lying in the snow had done something to him. It reminded him of his own past, those cold nights where no one came to help him. He wasn't going to let that happen to her. Suddenly, Beverly moved. Her fingers twitched. Her eyelashes fluttered. Jae-min leaned closer. Slowly, she opened her eyes. She blinked, confused, staring at the warm lights above her. She sat up fast, panicking. Where am I?" she whispered. "You're safe," Jae-min said softly. She gasped when she saw him. He looked powerful and dangerous, yet calm and gentle. She pulled the blanket tighter around herself. "I'm sorry," she whispered quickly. "I didn't mean to. I didn't know. It's all right," he said. "You collapsed outside." Her eyes filled with tears. "I had nowhere to go," she said in a small voice. "I didn't want to bother anyone." "You weren't a bother," Jae-min said, voice firm but gentle. Beverly looked at the coat wrapped around her shoulders. "You gave me this?" "Yes." "But why?" she asked, confused. Jae-min held her gaze. "Because no one deserves to cry alone in the snow." Something inside Beverly cracked wide open. Tears fell silently down her cheeks. She tried to wipe them away quickly. "I'm sorry," she whispered again. "I'm sorry." Jae-min shook his head. "Don't be sorry. Just rest." And for the first time since she was thrown out, Beverly felt a little safe. "Thank you," she whispered again. "But I don't understand why you're helping me." Jaemin placed the tray on her lap. The food smelled so good that her stomach growled loudly. Beverly looked away, embarrassed. "Eat," he said. "But, eat." His voice was firm, but his eyes were warm. Beverly picked up the spoon with shaking hands. When she took the first bite, tears filled her eyes again. She hadn't eaten since. The warmth of the food spread through her chest like sunlight. As she ate slowly, Jaemin sat in the chair across from her, watching quietly. "Do you want to tell me what happened?" he asked softly. Beverly stopped eating. Her hand trembled. "My boyfriend threw me out," she whispered. Jaemin's fingers tightened around the arm of the chair. "Why?" "Because he didn't like the gift I bought him. He said I embarrassed him. Then he pushed me outside." Jaemin's jaw clenched with anger. "He put you in danger." Beverly wiped her eyes. "Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I wasn't good enough." Jaemin leaned forward, voice calm but powerful. "Listen to me. A woman who works hard, gives love, and tries her best is never the problem. The problem is the man who cannot see her value." Beverly's eyes widened. No one had ever said something like that to her. "I don't know what to do now," she whispered. "You don't decide today," Jaemin replied. "Today you rest. You heal." He stood slowly. "For now, you stay here. My home is your home." Beverly's lips parted in shock. "But why are you doing this?" she asked again. Jaemin walked to the door, then turned back to her with a soft expression Beverly had never seen before. "Because," he said quietly, "no one cared for me when I needed help. I won't let that happen to you." Beverly looked at him, heart pounding. For the first time in a long time, she felt seen. She felt protected. She felt like maybe, just maybe, her life was about to change. The next morning, Beverly tried to get up early from the soft bed. She didn't want to look lazy. She didn't want to be a burden. She folded the blanket neatly, brushed her hair with her fingers, and tried to clean the room even though it was already spotless. But when she opened the door to step outside, she almost bumped into someone. A man stood there wearing black clothes. He was tall, serious-looking, with sharp eyes. He looked surprised to see her awake. "You shouldn't walk around alone yet," he said. "Boss said to call him when you wake up." "Boss?" Beverly repeated softly. "Yes, Jaemin." Her heart jumped a little. "Oh." The man spoke into a small earpiece. "Boss, she's awake." A moment later, Jaemin appeared from down the hallway. He wasn't dressed like a mafia boss today. He wore a light gray sweater, simple pants, and his hair fell gently over his forehead. He looked normal, almost warm. "You're up," he said. "Why, yes," Beverly replied. "You should rest." "I feel fine," she said quickly. "I'm sorry for taking your room." "It's a guest room," he corrected softly. "Not mine." "Oh," she whispered. He noticed her straight hair was messy from sleep. Her cheeks were still puffy from crying last night. But she stood with her back straight, trying her best to look strong. "Come," he said. "Let's eat breakfast." He led her to a large dining room with wide windows that showed the city outside. A long table was filled with food, toast, eggs, fruit, soup, rice, and warm tea. Beverly blinked in shock. "This is a lot." "It's normal," Jaemin said. "Normal," she whispered. He sat across from her, watching her gently as she picked up chopsticks slowly, trying to remember how to use them. Her hands shook. "Let me show you," he said. He stood, went behind her, and guided her hands slowly. His fingers were warm. Beverly felt her cheeks burn. "Like this," he murmured. When she got it right, she smiled shyly. "Thank you," she whispered. Jaemin returned to his seat. As she ate slowly, he studied her carefully. The way she winced when she moved her shoulder. The way she tried not to eat too fast. The way she kept whispering, "Thank you for everything." "You're too used to suffering," he said quietly. She looked up confused. "What do you mean?" "You apologize for breathing," he said. "You thank people for things that are normal. You shrink yourself so others feel big." Her chest tightened. "No one should live like that," he finished softly. Beverly lowered her eyes as tears slowly formed. For the first time, someone truly saw her. After breakfast, Jaemin told his men to handle business without him. They obeyed instantly. Beverly noticed how they respected him, not out of fear, but out of trust. He turned back to her. "Do you want to see the city?" Beverly hesitated. "I don't want to trouble you." It's not trouble. I don't have warm clothes, she said softly. Jae-min simply looked at one of his men. Jin-woo. Yes, boss. Get her a coat. And gloves. And shoes. Right away. Beverly blinked. Wait, no, please. It's too much. But Jin-woo was already gone. You deserve warmth, Jae-min said simply. She looked away, her heart shaking. When the new coat arrived, Beverly gently touched it. It was soft, thick, and cream-colored. Something she would never afford in her whole life. Try it, Jae-min said. She slipped into it, and it fit perfectly. She looked like a princess standing in the middle of his hallway. Beautiful, he said softly. Her cheeks turned warm. Thank you. They stepped outside, and for the first time, Beverly didn't feel the cold. They walked through the city slowly. Snow fell gently around them. People stared at them. Jae-min, the feared Mafia king, walking beside a quiet black woman like she was royalty. Are they staring at me? Beverly whispered. They're staring at me, he said. I don't walk with people. So why walk with me? She asked. He looked down at her with calm eyes. Because you don't hide your heart. Because you're honest. Because you remind me of something good. She stopped walking, surprised. But you don't even know me. I know enough. They continued walking until they reached a small Korean bakery. The warm smell of fresh bread floated outside. Beverly's stomach growled quietly. Jae-min opened the door for her. Inside, the owner bowed deeply. Boss. Welcome. Beverly blinked. You know him? Everyone knows him, the owner whispered. Jae-min ordered sweet bread, hot chocolate, and warm pastries for her. Beverly tasted one and froze. It's so good, she said with shining eyes. Jae-min chuckled softly, his first laugh in years. Beverly looked at him with gentle surprise. You're different from what people think, she said. His smile faded. You don't know what people think, he replied quietly. Then tell me, she said softly. He looked into her eyes for a long moment. Maybe, one day. That night, Beverly had trouble sleeping. Even though the room was warm and safe, her mind kept spinning. She thought about Daniel, about the snow, about waking up in a stranger's home, and about how gently Jae-min treated her. No man had ever looked at her the way he did. She sat by the window, watching the snow fall. Her arms hugged her knees. The city lights glowed softly. A knock on the door made her jump. Come in, she said quietly. The door opened, and Jae-min stepped inside. He held 2 cups of tea. You're awake, he said. I couldn't sleep, she whispered. My mind is tired, but my heart is noisy. He handed her a cup and sat across from her on the floor, not caring about fancy chairs or rules. What is your heart saying? He asked. That I shouldn't be here, she said honestly. That I'm nobody. That you shouldn't waste your time on me. Jae-min tilted his head. And what do you want to say back to your heart? Beverly looked down. I don't know. He sipped his tea slowly. Then I'll answer for you, he said gently. You are not nobody. You are not a waste of time. You are a woman with worth. And I don't help people without reason. Then why help me? She whispered. He looked at her carefully. Because when I saw you in the snow, something inside me said, don't let her die. Something inside me said you were important. Tears filled Beverly's eyes. Important? Me? Yes, he said simply. Beverly wiped her eyes quickly. I'm sorry. I cried too much. You cry because you held pain alone for too long, he said. A long silence passed. The snow fell gently outside. Beverly whispered, I don't know how to start my life again. You don't start alone, he replied. I'll teach you Korean. I'll help you find work. I'll make sure you're safe. She looked up surprised. Why do you care so much? Jae-min finally told her the truth. When I was young, I was left outside in the snow too. And no one came. No one cared. So now, I care. Beverly's heart squeezed tightly. In the quiet room, 2 broken souls sat close, and something new began to glow between them. Days passed. Slowly, Beverly grew comfortable in Jae-min's home. She learned how to use chopsticks better. She learned small Korean words like hello, thank you, and good morning. She helped fold blankets and wash dishes even though Jae-min told her she didn't have to. You don't work for me, he said each time. But I want to help, she replied. Sometimes, she caught him watching her with soft eyes. Not the cold, deadly eyes he used with his men. but warm, gentle ones made only for her. One evening, Jaemin taught her how to read a few Korean letters. She sat beside him on the couch, leaning close to see the notebook. He pointed with a pen, explaining each sound carefully. "You learn fast," he said. "No, I don't," she laughed shyly. "Yes, you do. You're smarter than you think." Her cheeks warmed. She looked at him quietly. "Why do you always say things no one else ever said to me?" He put the pen down and looked at her deeply. "Maybe you were surrounded by the wrong people," he said. Her chest tightened. She thought of Daniel again. The shouting, the insults, the cold door slamming in her face. Jaemin noticed her eyes change. "Do you miss him?" he asked softly. "No," she whispered. "I miss being loved. Or thinking I was." Jaemin leaned back, his jaw tense. "He didn't love you," he said. "He loved what you gave him." Beverly looked down at her hands. "I don't want to feel stupid again." "You're not stupid." "I feel like I am." "You trusted someone," he said softly. "That's not stupidity. That's kindness." She looked up at him, tears forming. "Don't cry," he said quietly. "Not for him." "But what if I don't deserve better?" she whispered. Jaemin's eyes turned firm, strong, certain. "You do," he said. "More than you know." He reached out slowly, gently wiping a tear from her cheek with his thumb. His touch was careful, like she was fragile glass. "Beverly," he whispered, "you deserve someone who looks at you like you're a miracle, not a burden." She stared into his eyes. And for the first time, she believed him. One night, Beverly was walking down the hallway when she overheard voices from Jaemin's office. His tone was different, cold, sharp, dangerous. "No one touches her," he was saying. A man replied nervously, "Yes, boss. But the men who followed her last week. Deal with them." Beverly froze. "Followed her?" Jaemin continued, "She stays safe. Always." "Understood." She stepped back quietly, her heart trembling. Why was someone following her? Was it Daniel? Was it someone connected to Jaemin's Mafia world? Fear crept up her spine. Later that night, she waited until Jaemin came out of his office. "Can we talk?" she asked softly. He stopped immediately. "Of course." They sat in the living room. The lights were dim, and the room smelled like warm tea. "I heard something," Beverly whispered. "Someone followed me?" Jaemin exhaled slowly. "When you went to the bakery alone 2 days ago, some men watched you." "Why?" Beverly asked, voice shaking. "I don't know yet." "Is it because of you?" she whispered. "Maybe," he said honestly. Her hands trembled. "I don't want to cause trouble. Maybe I should leave. Maybe I should." "Stop." His voice was gentle but firm. "You're not leaving. But You stay here because I said so." "But why?" she cried. "Why protect me? Why risk trouble for me?" He leaned closer, his voice low but full of emotion. "Because I can't stand the thought of something happening to you." She froze. He continued, "From the night I found you in the snow, something inside me changed. I don't want to ignore it." Beverly's heart pounded in her chest. "Jaemin," she whispered. He looked into her eyes with a truth she could feel in her bones. "You're not trouble," he said. "You're the first good thing to enter my life in years." Her lips parted in shock. Her breath shook. "And I will protect you," he whispered. "Even if it costs me everything." Beverly felt her heart fall into his hands. And for the first time since Christmas night, she didn't feel unwanted. She felt chosen. Days passed like soft snow falling quietly on a cold city. Beverly started to settle into her new life with Jaemin. She had never imagined living in such luxury, but it didn't make her proud or selfish. She simply wanted to survive, to feel safe, and to heal from the wounds of her past. Every morning, Jaemin would greet her with a calm smile. He would make breakfast, pour her tea, and sit quietly beside her as she ate. Sometimes, he didn't speak at all, only watching her, ensuring she felt comfortable. His presence was powerful, like a storm waiting to strike, but gentle, like a soft wind when she needed warmth. Beverly slowly began to trust him. She laughed a little more, smiled more, and even began speaking Korean words she had learned. Jaemin noticed every small progress and praised her gently, which made her blush every time. One day, as they walked along the streets near the Han River, Beverly stopped, mesmerized by the water reflecting the sunlight on the snow. "It's beautiful," she whispered. It is, Jae-min agreed, standing silently beside her. But you're even more beautiful when you feel safe. She looked at him, startled. Me? I'm not. Shoo, he said, placing a hand softly on her shoulder. You are enough. Always have been. Beverly's heart skipped a beat. She wasn't used to hearing words like that. Not since Daniel. Not from anyone. Her mind wandered back to the night in the snow, how helpless she felt, how cold and broken. And now this man, this dangerous, powerful man, was making her feel like she mattered. Truly mattered. They continued walking, silent except for the crunch of snow beneath their feet. Beverly noticed how people stared when they passed by. Jae-min's presence commanded attention. Yet he never acted proud or boastful. He simply walked with her, protecting her in every sense of the word. That night, she lay in the warm bed, thinking. For the first time in her life, she didn't feel like a burden. She felt valued, seen, and even safe. Her heart, which had been broken in the snow, now felt something new. Something she had never experienced, hope. And somewhere deep inside, she began to wonder if maybe, just maybe, love could be soft, kind, and protective. Not the kind she had with Daniel, the kind that made her shiver in the snow, but real, strong, and unbreakable. Beverly had never imagined that someone like Jae-min would take an interest in her life, in her thoughts, in her feelings. He kept teaching her Korean in a patient, careful way. Every word he spoke seemed deliberate, chosen with care. And she listened, absorbing every syllable, every tone, every nuance. One afternoon, as she struggled to pronounce a difficult phrase, Jae-min leaned closer. His presence made her heart race. Like this, he said, placing his hand gently over hers to guide her. She could feel his warmth through the thick knit of her sweater. I still can't get it right, she said, embarrassed. You will, he replied softly, his voice full of quiet confidence. You just need patience. And I have plenty of patience. Beverly felt a small smile tug at her lips. Patience. No one had ever treated her with patience before. People had yelled, criticized, and pushed her away. But Jae-min, he stayed. He stayed in a way that made her heart feel heavy with emotion and light with hope at the same time. As the days passed, Jae-min's protective nature grew. He refused to let her go anywhere alone. At first, Beverly protested, insisting she could handle herself. But each time she saw the way his eyes darkened at even the smallest threat, she relented. She realized it wasn't about control, it was about care. One night, Beverly couldn't sleep again. She walked into the penthouse living room and found Jae-min staring out the window, the city lights reflecting in his dark eyes. You're awake, he said softly. I couldn't sleep, she whispered. He turned toward her. Why? I keep thinking about my old life, she admitted. About everything I lost. Jae-min walked closer and sat beside her. His hand brushed against hers, careful but deliberate. You lost something, he said slowly, but you also found something better. You found strength and you found safety. And maybe, even love. Beverly's heart thumped. She looked down, cheeks burning. She had never felt this kind of closeness before. It was new, terrifying, and beautiful. Love, she asked softly, almost afraid to say it aloud. Yes, Jae-min replied. A love that protects, that heals, that doesn't hurt you. Her eyes filled with tears. She had never believed in that kind of love. Not since the snow. Not since Daniel. But Jae-min's words were a spark in the darkness. And for the first time, she allowed herself to hope. Winter passed slowly, but Beverly's life began to bloom in ways she hadn't imagined. Jae-min introduced her to new places, taught her Korean customs, and even let her meet some of his closest friends, though she noticed they all treated her with careful respect. One afternoon, he took her to a traditional Korean tea house. Warm light glowed inside, and the smell of sweet tea filled the air. Beverly sat quietly as Jae-min explained each tea's meaning, how to pour it, and the etiquette involved. You're learning fast, he said. I want to learn, she replied softly. Not just for you, for me too. Jae-min studied her silently for a moment. Good. You must learn to value yourself. Not because of me, but because of who you are. Beverly felt warmth spread through her chest. Every day, she noticed small changes, how her confidence grew, how she stood taller, how she didn't flinch at the cold or harsh words anymore. That night, she prepared a small dinner herself. It wasn't much, just rice and kimchi soup, but she wanted to show Jae-min she could contribute. When he tasted it, his eyes widened slightly. "You made this?" he asked, surprised. "Yes," she whispered, nervous. He nodded slowly, taking another bite. "Delicious. You have talent." Her heart fluttered. Compliments were rare, and when they came from him, they felt like treasures. Later, as they cleaned up, Jae-min stopped suddenly and looked at her. "Beverly, do you ever think about what could happen if someone from your past comes back?" She paused, confused. "What do you mean?" He sighed. "People who hurt you, they may try to return when they see you've changed." Beverly's stomach twisted. Daniel. She hadn't thought about him in weeks. But his memory was a shadow lingering in the corners of her mind. Jae-min reached out and held her hand carefully. "If they do, I promise no one will hurt you again. Not while I'm here." Her chest tightened. She felt tears form, but this time, they were not from sadness. They were from relief. Someone had finally given her a shield, a safe place, a protector. She realized then that she was starting to fall not just into safety, but into love. A love that felt like warmth after a long, bitter winter. Beverly's days became a mix of learning, laughter, and quiet discovery. She explored Seoul with Jae-min, tasting street food, walking through markets, and even trying on hanboks at a small shop. He let her choose her favorite colors, never judging, never rushing her. One evening, while watching the city lights from the penthouse balcony, Beverly spoke softly. "Do you ever feel lonely?" Jae-min's expression softened. "All the time. But not when I'm with you." She felt her heart flutter. "Even though you're dangerous?" He smiled faintly. "Being dangerous doesn't mean I don't feel. It just means I know how to protect what matters." Beverly's eyes widened. "And I matter?" "You matter," he said firmly. "More than anyone I've ever known." Her lips trembled. Tears formed, but she smiled through them. She had never heard anyone say that to her before. Not Daniel, not family, not friends. She mattered. Someone cared for her entirely, not for what she gave, but for who she was. That night, she fell asleep feeling a warmth she had never known. Jae-min sat outside her door quietly, listening to her soft breathing, making sure she was safe. He hadn't done this for anyone else. Not for years. And somewhere deep inside, Beverly felt a tiny seed of courage grow. Courage to live. Courage to love. Courage to step into a world she never thought she could belong to. A few months passed, and Beverly's confidence began to shine. She walked taller, spoke more clearly, and laughed more freely. The woman who had been thrown out on Christmas night no longer trembled in fear. One evening, while preparing dinner together, Jae-min asked quietly, "Do you ever think about your old life?" Beverly froze for a moment. "Sometimes," she admitted. "It feels like a shadow I can't quite shake." He nodded. "Shadows only exist because there is light. And you've found your light." She looked at him, heart racing. You're my light?" "I'll be your light," he said softly. "And your shield. And your home." Beverly's chest tightened. Words failed her. No one had ever promised her so much, not love, not protection, not care. And yet, here he was, offering all three without hesitation. She realized in that moment that life could be completely different. That heartbreak didn't have to define her. That someone could see her, truly see her, and want her safe and happy. And as she looked into Jae-min's dark, steady eyes, she knew one thing for certain: her life had changed forever. The woman who had cried in the snow was gone. In her place stood a new Beverly, strong, cherished, and ready to embrace whatever came next. Days later, Beverly looked out at the snow falling softly over Seoul. She remembered that cold Christmas night, the heartbreak, the loneliness, the pain. And then she thought of Jae-min, the man who had rescued her, protected her, and shown her what love could really feel like. She smiled, her straight black hair brushing her shoulders. For the first time, she felt truly safe, truly seen, and truly cherished. No harsh words, no cold doors, no fear. Only warmth, respect, and a love that lifted her higher than she had ever imagined. Jae-min came up behind her, wrapping his coat around her shoulders. "You're mine," he said softly, "and I'll never let anyone hurt you again." She leaned into him, heart full of gratitude and hope. "Thank you for everything," she whispered. Snow continued to fall, but inside, Beverly's heart was warm. She had been thrown out on Christmas night, lost and alone, but she had found something far greater, a love that healed, a life that empowered her, and a man who would treat her like the queen she truly was. Her past was behind her. Her future was with him. And for the first time in her life, Beverly felt complete. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share with friends and loved ones, and subscribe for more amazing stories to come.